welcome to a new month. It's June the 1st and the day set on a pink note around Laurie's Place, Newfoundland. I want to take a look at what's going on across the country. With your national forecast, June the 1st is the first day of meteorological summer. It's also the first day of the Atlantic hurricane season. No hurricanes at the moment. We've got 2 named storms already going on in the Pacific. No threat to land well southwest of Los Angeles. Great to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. I had a big ride planned for the weekend. It got rained out. Speaking of rain, BC, heavy rain. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, heavy rain in the south. We've got some warnings. We've got a high thunderstorm risk in some areas. And we've also got some very heavy rain heading into Atlantic Canada as low pressure. It's stalled. There's another low rippling along this boundary and will go across the country. Ottawa, a little brighter tomorrow. It's going to be in the next 24 hours or so. We've got some cooler weather coming to Western Canada. Some wetter weather, too. Rainfall warnings and special weather statements. Look at this. 40 to 50 plus millimeters of rain in parts of the southern interior, around the Arrow-Slocan Lakes, around the Kootenays. And of course, the funneling effect of the mountains and the rivers running through the valleys and the snow melt that's going on. This is going to be high and fast river flows, possibly some localized overland flooding. Unsettled weather, BC, and then Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. The risk of severe storms through the evening hours. And sometimes with severe storms, we do get tornadoes. It's a relatively low risk today, but I just need to mention that. Also tell you about rain and lightning and gusty winds and possibly some hail. If you've got warnings, you'll see them as a red message on your screen. You'll want to take immediate shelter. Wet weather keeps rolling through on Wednesday. Cooler air coming Wednesday for Manitoba and unsettled for Alberta and for BC as we get later in the week. So let's take a look at your forecast. That frontal boundary, just downpours on Saturday, over 40 millimeters for Toronto, over 70 for Windsor, Ottawa, Montreal, a little bit of rain, Northern Ontario, a little bit of rain with our prairie low, and Atlantic Canada, more than just a little bit. Most of New Brunswick and PEI fairly dry today, but that low, that next wave is going to push a little further north, not really affect you in Newfoundland. You've got frost tonight with clear skies. You've had clear skies and sunshine today. So, a lot going on. Wetter, cooler trend coming into parts of Western Canada and BC. Toronto sunny, St. John sunny, Iqaluit sunny. Most of Atlantic Canada, cloudy and rainy. Ottawa, a little brighter than tomorrow. And again, rain. Victoria, heavy rain. The southern interior of BC. 40 to 50 millimeters of rain for some. June 1st, it's a Monday. I hope you didn't have too much of a Monday on this Monday. You know what I mean. Suzanne Leonard with the team here. We've got system-wise across the country plenty of active weather. We've had plenty of sunshine today, but the cloud cover thickening up. Heavy rain tonight for BC. Ongoing showers to heavy rain to thunderstorms, and that's an ongoing story in the southeast prairies. Ontario, we're trying to clear out in the Maritimes while the wet weather has been lingering. Yep, that's coming up tonight here on the Weather Network. Today, June 1st, start of meteorological summer. What do we have in store forecast-wise? Well, the summer forecast a little later on. Through Wednesday, the forecast, very heavy rain. 20 to 40 millimeters of rain. Most of Nova Scotia, the Atlantic seaboard, will see even more than that, so very soggy weather. And it'll be pushing further north tomorrow through the Maritimes. Overnight tonight, frost advisories. Much of Newfoundland and mostly dry weather. High pressure, most of Ontario fairly dry today. A few showers in the south. Eastern Ontario, southern Quebec, they'll nudge in a little bit with that next surge of moisture for the Maritimes tomorrow. But then clear out. So still some showers tonight in Ottawa, and some heavy rain is coming to parts of the prairies. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about your forecast for Calgary. 20 to 40, 40 to 50 millimeters of rain through southern Manitoba. Regina, an exceptionally dry May. Vancouver, Victoria, you've had very dry weather too. Big downpours, strong thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms. Please stay alert. This is an area of the country getting some very active weather through this evening. In southern BC, rainfall warnings. Oh, we've got lots to talk about. Sunshine, quite a change coming up, though, as we take a look at your national forecast. It was a massive amount of rain that came down in Ontario. Having said that, I had a double scoop waffle cone yesterday. An ice cream as big as my head. It wasn't inspired by that video, but that might have inspired you to get out and have an ice cream overnight tonight. It is the start of meteorological summer, whether it feels like it or not. We have a lot of wet weather and a lot of active weather in Western Canada, and then more or less skip Ontario, Quebec, and on into the Maritimes. When I say skip Ontario, Quebec, I mean fair weather, but nothing like it here with wet weather coming up, high rainfall amounts, thunderstorms, rainfall warnings, special weather statements surround that. We've got a good 10 millimeters on the way for Metro Vancouver. Could be 40 to 50 plus millimeters of rain in the southern interior around the Aroostook Lakes, the Kootenays, especially if you get thunderstorms. And with the melting snowpacks and with the valleys, rivers are going to be coursing high and fast. There could be some travel delays in the area. And with low pressure also affecting the eastern prairies, developing south of the border, it's going to nudge up far enough that there'll be some heavy rain along and south of the Trans-Canada. Lots of rain on the way, some powerful thunderstorms in the region right now, so please stay alert there. May is into June now, and it's storm season, it's boating season, it's also golfing season. Are you ready? Or into that sand trap, right, Mike? High pressure, I couldn't resist. Clearing out in Ontario, you'll be brighter, you'll be warmer tomorrow. Ottawa, Montreal, your showers will be winding down. You'll be warmer by midweek, but wet weather coming. Look at this, 40+ millimeters of rain for Nova Scotia. Coming out of Nova Scotia in just a moment, Nate Coleman. Today's June 1st. You know what that is? Hurricane season starts. Find out more. And a half in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, well over 400 millimeters of rain. Let's take it closer to home, shall we? Toronto and Regina and Vancouver have all had a very dry month of May. Today, wet weather, parts of eastern Canada, powerful thunderstorms still going on right now, southeastern prairies and in southern BC as well. In fact, we've got rainfall warnings in southern BC and some downpours with thunder and lightning. And in southeast Saskatchewan and southwest Manitoba in particular, there is a more elevated risk of severe storms continuing through the evening hours. Always the risk, not a guarantee of tornadoes, but just want to highlight the fact that we have a somewhat elevated risk this evening. So be prepared to take immediate shelter. High pressure settling into Ontario, wet weather settling into the Maritimes for tomorrow. Yeah, heavy rain, over 40 millimeters on the way for Nova Scotia's coast. Now, today is June 1st, the start of meteorological summer and the start of another season. Here's Nate. What a great start. A little bit cool out with the coats and jackets today. Daytime highs did climb into the double digits, into the teens, not the 20s this time round. Some changes coming up in the long-range forecast. Maybe not ideal boating or golfing or biking weather or well, maybe it's not too bad for anything that's intensive, right? It was a tough go on the weekend, but I tell you what, the gardens are looking lovely and green. The low has moved on. This broad area of low pressure going to bring some drenching rains tomorrow to the Maritimes. There's been flooding in parts of the U.S. Northeast. Here at home, we're on the back edge of that cloud cover. So we've had some fairly cool temperatures, but coming up, we've got some warmer weather. How have you managed with this wet weather this weekend? And now we're into June the 1st. How goes it so far? Interesting, isn't it? There are as many opinions as there are people. Hot and humid on the weekend. A lot of us love that. Certainly feels like summer. Even the curly hair people love that. Some of them clearly. Showers, high pressure still. So we've got cool high pressure. Wet weather moves off to the east. Having said cool, I mean, we still will be close to 20 degrees tomorrow, 18 for Toronto. And of course, if you're near the lake and you get that breeze off the lake, it will be on the cool side. Long range forecast looks relatively dry, not for the Atlantic seaboard. That's where the wet weather is going to be focused. Tuesday, Wednesday, missing most of Newfoundland. If you're catching up on the Canadian weather pattern, we've had a very dry May. So is Vancouver and Victoria. They've got rain tomorrow. Here's our long-range forecast. We get back into the 20s, thankfully. Thursday, Friday, a little bit humid, though, feeling close to 30. Into the weekend, Saturday. Sunday shouldn't be as drenching as it was last weekend, and a similar kind of warmer, somewhat more sticky trend as we go towards the end of the first week of June. Torrential rain. We had plenty of it ourselves this past weekend. Texas absolutely blasted in May, deployed there for disaster assistance. So follow up to that story. And I've got another follow-up story for you in just a second. It's great to see you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It was very wet in Ontario, drying up for Tuesday. That trend continues, getting wetter in the Maritimes, and wet weather with thunderstorms both at this hour and again tomorrow, many parts of the West. Details in just a second. When severe weather threatens, there's a huge effort, of course, put into protecting a community, and different residents have different requirements. Quite a community effort there. Great story. Now, great story coming up. The summer forecast, top of the hour, all night tonight. Don't miss it. Oh my, and wet weather on the weekend, 40, 50 millimeters of rain. Hamilton, Toronto, the Niagara region. Today, I know some of you probably reached for the heater, maybe the furnace switch. 18 in Barrie. Might not have felt like it. I didn't think it felt like 15 in Toronto, I can tell you, with the cloud cover and that cool breeze. Saturday to Monday, the amounts of rainfall less for Ottawa, though still pretty gray today, and more for Windsor, and some wind damage down towards London and St. Mary's. Powerful thunderstorms accompanying the wet weather Saturday. Today is the start of a new week, and it's June the 1st. It's the start of meteorological summer. Forecast for this first night of meteorological summer, 7, 8, 9 degrees, certainly much cooler than the 15s and 16s we had overnight last week. At times, cool high pressure. That's what it is. The wet weather, at least, is well off to our east, and we will see an increasing amount of sunshine in the days to come. This is some great news if you're a runner, if you just like the sunshine, but certainly if you're a golfer. Well, Mike's out on the greens with this. Not into the sand trap. Okay, let's take a look from golf. Hey, from golf to hockey. Oshawa, 19 degrees tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. The Oshawa Generals, they won the Memorial Cup on the weekend. OHL, big hockey win, that Tournament of Champions. So big parade tomorrow evening. Now, tomorrow evening, yeah, not too bad. Sunshine, clear skies, and then warmer by the end of the week.